The gentle hum of the office's air conditioning blended with the distant sounds of a bustling city outside. The large glass windows overlooked a landscape of skyscrapers, glowing under the setting sun. Two colleagues sat across from each other in a spacious conference room, a sense of calm settling over the day. James Carter, a senior manager in his early 50s, sat comfortably in his chair, exuding a quiet confidence shaped by years of experience. His salt-and-pepper hair and calm demeanor spoke to a career well established. Across from him sat Emily Clark, a vibrant woman in her late 20s, full of curiosity and energy, eager to carve her own path in the corporate world. They had just finished discussing a new project, but their conversation had veered into something more meaningful: Emily's thoughts on career growth and the constant need to learn.
You know, Emily, I've been watching you over the last year. You've got this spark, this drive to always improve, to keep learning. It reminds me of myself when I was your age, always thinking that once you know enough, you'll finally get there. But the truth is, you never really get there. Learning doesn't stop, no matter how much you know.
I've been thinking about that too. It's like the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. But sometimes I wonder, does it ever become enough? Can you ever reach a point where you feel like you've mastered everything you need to know for your career?
Question: do you think there's a point where you've learned enough? Or is lifelong learning essential for career success? A. Yes. You can eventually learn enough to master your field. B. No. Lifelong learning is key to staying relevant and evolving. C. You can master specific skills, but learning should never stop entirely.
Answer B. No. Lifelong learning is key to staying relevant and evolving. I think it's essential. The world changes so quickly, especially with technology. New methods, new ideas. If you stop learning, you risk becoming obsolete. But more than that, I think learning keeps you sharp, keeps you engaged in your work. It's not just about staying relevant. It's about staying passionate.
I couldn't agree more. You know, I've seen people who've stopped learning. People who thought they'd reached the top and didn't need to grow anymore. They get stuck in their ways, and before long, they're left behind. But those who keep learning, who stay curious, they're the ones who continue to thrive, no matter how long they've been in the game.
The golden light from the setting sun filled the room, casting a warm glow over the walls. Emily took a deep breath, her mind buzzing with new thoughts. The conversation felt like a turning point, not just for the day, but for her perspective on her career.
That's the thing I worry about most, I think. Becoming complacent. I don't want to wake up one day and realize I've stopped growing. But at the same time, it's hard to know when to slow down and take a break. Is there such a thing as pushing too hard when it comes to learning?
It's a fine line. You don't want to burn yourself out by trying to learn everything at once. Lifelong learning doesn't mean learning everything right now. It's about pacing yourself, finding the right rhythm, so that learning is a sustainable part of your career, not an overwhelming task. Question: do you think it's possible to find a balance between constant learning and avoiding burnout? A. Yes. You can balance learning and rest with the right approach. B. No. The pressure to keep learning eventually leads to burnout. C. Balance isn't possible. You need to prioritize one over the other.
Answer A. Yes, you can balance learning and rest with the right approach. I think it's all about how you approach it. If you see learning as something you have to do, it becomes a burden. But if you integrate it into your work naturally, like learning from challenges or new experiences, it's more enjoyable. And taking breaks when needed is part of that balance. You don't have to be in learning mode 24/7.
Exactly. Lifelong learning doesn't mean attending every seminar or reading every book on the market. It means being open to new ideas and experiences as they come. It means learning through doing, through reflection, through conversation. As long as you keep that openness, you'll find a balance.
The sun had dipped lower now, and the lights of the city began to twinkle outside the window. The room felt quieter, more introspective. Emily leaned forward slightly, absorbing the weight of James's words, feeling her ambition temper with newfound clarity.
You've been in this field for years, James. I'm curious, what keeps you learning? After all this time, what drives you to keep growing when you've already seen so much?
That's a good question. Honestly, it's the people I work with, people like you. You're always learning something new, bringing fresh ideas and energy to the table. That keeps me sharp. And also, it's about staying connected to the changes in the world. The world doesn't stay still, and if you don't keep up, you fall behind. Question: do you think it's easier for younger professionals to stay motivated to learn? Or does the drive to learn change as you get older? A. It's easier when you're younger. The energy and enthusiasm are fresh. B. The drive to learn changes, but it doesn't disappear with age. C. Learning becomes more difficult as you get older because of other responsibilities.
Answer B. The drive to learn changes, but it doesn't disappear with age. I think the drive to learn evolves. When you're younger, it's more about absorbing as much as you can to prove yourself. But as you get older, I imagine it's less about proving something and more about staying engaged, staying curious. I hope that when I'm your age, I still have that same spark to keep learning, just in different ways.
You will. The passion to learn doesn't go away, it just matures. The things you learn might shift, but that hunger for growth, it stays with you if you nurture it. That's what keeps a career alive, keeps it exciting, no matter where you are in the journey.
The office was now bathed in the soft glow of the city lights. The workday was coming to an end, but the conversation between James and Emily had left a lasting impression. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, both reflecting on the importance of growth, not just for their careers, but for themselves.
I think I've learned something important today. It's not about chasing knowledge or racing to the next milestone. It's about being open to the process, about finding joy in the learning itself. That's what I want for my career, to never stop being curious.
You've got it. Curiosity. That's the heart of lifelong learning. It's what keeps you growing, evolving, and staying passionate. And as long as you keep that fire alive, you'll never stop finding new ways to challenge yourself.
Thanks, James. I'm going to remember that. Lifelong learning, it's not just a strategy, it's a mindset.
As Emily gathered her things and prepared to leave, she felt a sense of purpose settling over her. The idea of lifelong learning wasn't just about career advancement. It was about becoming the best version of herself, every day, for the rest of her life. She walked out into the night, ready to embrace the journey ahead, one step at a time. 5 words related to the theme of lifelong learning.
Curiosity, the desire to continually seek out new knowledge and experiences. Growth, the ongoing process of developing both professionally and personally.
Adaptability. The ability to adjust and thrive in a constantly changing environment. Mindset. The attitude and approach one takes toward learning and self-improvement.
Engagement, staying actively involved in learning, both in work and life, to maintain passion and interest.